The silence in Tarkov. It's a liar. It feels heavy, that the whole city is holding its breath. For a moment, you think you're safe. No gunfire, no footsteps, just the hum of ruined streetlights and the wind through shattered windows. But in Tarkov, silence never means safety. It means the storm hasn't hit you yet. For most survivors, that storm is chaos. Gunshots crack from nowhere, scavs scream into the night, and every raid is just a frantic scramble to survive. But for some, violence isn't chaos at all. It's order. It's a language, and nobody speaks it more fluently, more brutally than the trio the locals whisper, the Goons. To most players, they're terrifying bosses that seem to appear out of nowhere. But dig deeper and you find a chilling story. These aren't random killers. They're ex-soldiers, abandoned by the very people who trained them. They were cut loose, and instead of breaking, they built something new, something darker. To understand who they are, Knight, Big Pipe, and Birdeye, you first need to understand the city that made them. A city sealed off from the world. A city left to die. The Navink Special Economic Zone was supposed to be a shining experiment, a capitalist bridge between Russia and Europe. Laws bent, oversight weakened, and corporations given free rein. On paper, it looked like progress. In reality, it was a feeding ground for corruption. At the centre of this mess was Terror Group. Corporations so big and shadowy that its operations ranged from tech to medicine to secretive bio research. They weren't just playing by the rules, they were writing them. Where Terror Group went, Muscle followed. They hired USEC, a private military company staffed with Western contractors, many of them ex-special forces. USEC wasn't there to keep peace, they were there to protect assets and, more importantly, secrets. The secrets attract attention. The Russian state allegedly backed another PMC, Bear, with one purpose: expose Terror Group and push back against USEC. It was the perfect recipe for disaster. Two elite mercenary armies in the same city, both armed, both funded, and both with orders that directly opposed each other. Inevitably, shots were fired, streets turned into battlefields. As things spiraled, the Russian military and UN peacekeepers moved in, not to save the city, but to contain it. Tarkov was sealed off, no one in, no one out. For the USEC contractors on the ground, this was betrayal of the highest order. Their corporate bosses disavowed them. In their comms chatter, you can hear the disbelief. They were simply abandoned. No orders, no extraction, no lifeline. This is the Crucible where the Goons emerged. Most stranded PMCs tried to hide, escape, or blend in as scavengers. But three of them, they saw the collapse differently. They saw opportunity. The Goons didn't form out of chance. They weren't scavengers thrown together by desperation. They were professionals who looked at Tarkov's chaos and decided to impose their own order. What makes them stand apart from other renegades is intent. They weren't simply trying to survive. They made a choice. If the world had abandoned them, they would stop playing by its rules entirely. They would become predators. Meanwhile, other ex-USEC settled at the Lighthouse, forming the group we know as the Rogues. But the Goons didn't stay put. They became hunters, moving across Tarkov with terrifying freedom. Unlike other bosses who cling to a single territory, with Sharla at dorms, Killer in interchange, Sanitar at shoreline, the goons roam. You never know where they'll appear. That unpredictability is their true weapon. They don't just defend ground, they stalk it. Every kingdom needs rulers, and the goons rule through 3 men, each one terrifying in his own way. At the head is Knight, their commander. His mask is unmistakable, a haunting visage that instantly marks him as something beyond a common rogue. The description of his gear makes it clear. Knight chose not to flee Tarkov, but to stay and create his own order. He's a close quarters killer, often leading from the front. Some survivors claim his gear is patched with trophies from his victims, though that's more legend than fact. What is certain, that Knight embodies the will of the goons, controlled, relentless, merciless. Backing him is Big Pipe, the walking artillery battery. His signature weapon is the M32A1 grenade launcher, a 6-shot monster that turns entire squads into dust in seconds. His nickname comes from the actual tobacco pipe he carries, a strange human detail in the middle of the carnage. Players have noticed tattoos like the bone frog, often tied to Navy SEAL culture, leading to theories that Big Pipe once served in Western Special Forces before USEC. But that's speculation. What Battlestate makes clear is simple. Big Pipe is the goons' shock and awe. Then there's Birdeye, the ghost in the tree line. If Knight is the commander and Big Pipe is the hammer, Birdeye is the scalpel. He's a marksman, carrying weapons like the Arsas, and his skull-painted face became an icon of fear. He's patient, he's precise, and he always seems to see you before you see him. His radio pack, modelled after a real PRC-152, hints at advanced coordination. Some players theorise he's talking to more than just Knight and Big Pipe, maybe other renegades we haven't met yet. Nothing in the official lore confirms that, but it keeps the mystery alive. Together, they operate like a military unit, not scav bosses, not random rogues, a coordinated squad. Knight directs, Big Pipe overwhelms, Birdeye hunts. When they move, Tarkov bends around them. Legends aren't built on firefights alone. One quest, in particular, cements their reputation: stray dogs. Jeager, the hunter trader, is one of the toughest survivors in Tarkov. He lives by his own code, rooted in discipline and survival. When reports of a renegade trio terrorising the city reached him, Jeager tried something different. He sent a man to negotiate. Maybe he thought they could be reasoned with. That man never came back. In the quest text, Jeager admits his mistake. The goons can't be swayed, only stopped. Stray dogs isn't just another task for loot. It's Jeager acknowledging that these men are beyond redemption. Community theories have embellished the story. Some players claim the goon sent the messenger back decapitated, his head stuffed with Jeager's own letter. But the official record is simpler, and maybe scarier. His man just vanished. No closure, no explanation, only silence. And in Tarkov, silence always lies. So what drives them? Survival, greed, or something darker? The strongest clue is in Knight's mask. Create their own order. That phrase suggests intent. They aren't random scavengers killing for scraps. They're constructing something, their own system of power. Some theorists say their violence is a kind of psychological warfare, designed to terrify the city into submission. Others believe they may still know terror group secrets, and could be using them to carve out influence in Tarkov's black markets. But what we know for sure is chilling. They kill everyone. Former USEC allies, bears, scavs, civilians. Doesn't matter. Whatever loyalty they had is gone. They're not soldiers anymore. They're warlords. For all we know about the Goons, there's even more we don't. Are they the leaders of the rogues at Lighthouse, or do they operate independently? Are Knight, Big Pipe, and Birdeye the only ones? Just the tip of a larger renegade network? And perhaps, most haunting of all, who were they before Tarkov? The tattoos, the gear, the comms, they all give hints, but Battlestate deliberately leaves gaps. Their past is a blank slate, and their future is an open question. That's what keeps players theorising. That's what keeps their legend alive. So there you have it, the Goons. Not just another boss fight, but a case study in what happens when men built for war are abandoned in a city where a war never ends. Knight, the ruthless commander. Big Pipe, the walking barrage. Birdeye, the phantom sniper. Together they are Tarkov's apex predators. They don't just survive in the chaos, they master it. They roam across maps, rewriting Tarkov's rules in blood. And the story isn't finished. As the city's conflicts deepens, their role may grow. Their motives may become clearer, or maybe darker. For now, they remain a mystery wrapped in gunfire and silence. But I want to know what you think. Are the Goons just predators trying to survive? Or are they building something bigger? A new kingdom in the ruins of Tarkov? Drop your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Tarkov's lore, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Because the shadows of Tarkov still hold plenty of secrets. Until next time, watch your six. Silence doesn't mean safety. It never has. This has been XB. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.